Today we're going to be talking about the 7 principles, 3 branches, and checks and balances. To start off, we're going to be talking about checks and balances.
Now we're going to be talking about checks and balances. First, the legislative branch can override vetoes, confirm appointments, and impeach officials that goes to the executive branch. And the executive branch the president can veto congressional legislation that goes to the legislative branch.
From the legislative branch to the judicial branch, the Senate confirms the president's nominations and Congress can impeach judges. But then from the judicial branch to the legislative branch, the court can declare laws unconstitutional. Next, we're going to talk about the 3 branches.
Now on to the 3 branches. First is the House of Reps. Based on the population, they are the lower part of the Congress. The Senate is the upper part. There is someone called the Speaker of the House. Qualifications: must be at least 25 years old, must be a citizen of the U.S. for 7 or more years, must be a representative of the state they represent.
Next, we have executive. The president, which is included in the executive branch, is in the executive branch for 4 years and has the power to enforce laws. The president must be a citizen of the United States from birth, must be at least 35 years old, must have lived in the United States for 14 years. If the president leaves office, the power is passed over to the vice president. The president makes $400,000 per year. The salary cannot be lowered or higher.
The judicial branch. Judicial power is the right of the courts to decide legal cases. The power of the judicial branch is to explain laws or punish the lawbreakers. The president appoints judges with the advice and consent of the Senate. The term of the office for the 9 justices is for life.
Next up is the 7 principles.
First off, there's popular sovereignty. The preamble says we are the authority for the Constitution. The sources of all the power in the government comes from the people. Most of their ruling power is used on voting.
Next, we have republicanism. Republicanism is a political philosophy centered around citizenship. People use their power to vote politicians into their respected seat in the government.
Federalism. The powers of the government are divided into state and national government. Delegated powers are given to the national government. Reserved powers are powers that are kept by the states.
Next is the separation of powers. The Constitution is separated into 2 different powers, into 3 branches, and the branches legislative, judicial, and executive. Checks and balances. Each branch of government can check the other 2 governments to check the powers of them, like Congress can make laws, but the president can veto them.
So next up is limited government. The government only has powers granted to him by the people in the Constitution. All citizens, whatever the cost of wealth or status, must obey the law.
The last one is individual rights. The first 10 amendments make sure certain liberties and individual rights are protected. The Constitution was made so that the Americans didn't have such a strict government.